Praise God for another beautiful day to play some chess. Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at two of the chess matches that I've recently played. We're going to look at them, we're going to laugh. I think both of them are quite entertaining to watch, even though neither of them are particularly amazing showings by myself, but that doesn't matter. I think they're just fun to watch and we will learn some stuff along the way as well. Before we do that, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am launching channel memberships here on the channel. I've got 3 different tiers, $1, $3, and $5 a month. Do not feel obligated to become a channel member, but if you do, I'm going to be working on providing value to those membership tiers. The perks may change slightly here or there, but I do want to make it worth it for you guys that do decide to support me on a monthly basis. But that's my shameless plug out of the way. Let's get into this first game against Zveroboy Niske. Mr. Zveroboy actually tried to play the Wayward Queen or the Scandinavian Defense, whatever this one is. I do not like accepting it. I hate accepting it. I hate playing the line, so I always throw my knight out, which isn't good. It's not a great play, but he does decide to hang his pawn, and after I take it, he decides to push another pawn out for really no reason, and now I like this position. I always like that you're able to bring the knight out, you're able to bring the bishop out. You can usually bring both of those pieces out very early. You kind of still get a very similar attack as the Italian opening. It's not always the same. It kind of depends on what people do in this opening, but I like it. It's a good time. I do hang my knight here, which isn't particularly good. I should have just moved the knight, and now I am basically in a losing position. He defends his bishop, I move backwards, and he's attacking my bishop. So now I'm not in a good spot, you know, not in a great position at all. That is okay. In this spot here, honestly, just moving back is the best move because you continue that influence on the side. So, you know, it's not the greatest. I'm still learning a lot of the lines, and because I'm always kind of playing against different people, do different things. When you decline the Scandinavian opening, people are always like, I've never seen this before. What do I do? Especially at the 1100 rating. Now this knight move is a blunder, and you can see that it is very nice for me. The evaluation bar jumps back up. It's like, wow, we can do some crazy cool stuff because I'm able to trade the bishops off here and then put the king into check. So this feels very good. The next pawn is hanging on the F file. We've also got the knight attacking it, so there's 2 attackers on the F pawn. The king has to move with nothing being able to get in the way, and when he moves, he's now going to be losing castling. So that feels very good. I'm able to put him back into check with the knight. That feels very good as well. And I called this game the king walk because we are going to be walking the king across the entire board over the duration of this game. Okay, I decide to castle over here. He decides to attack my queen. I just move back, continuing to protect my knight and allowing me to have a revealed check when I move my knight. He preemptively runs away, and this is a blunder. This is very bad. This is very not good. I don't know exactly why it's bad. The next best move in this position is actually d4 as opposed to d3. If I push up here, I'm guessing that like he can't really take this. If he takes, that's okay. King e6 is also good. So moving back here is actually okay, which is hilarious because I would be able to reveal check again, either jumping down. This actually is not even that good. D taking e5 is better in this position, which is insane. The whole position is just hilarious to me because even after making this little mistake, it's a little bit of an inaccuracy, but my opponent just keeps moving his king. Like, he moves his king instead of anything else, either involuntarily moving it to a slightly worse position or allowing me to continue putting him into check, marching him up the other side of the board. He has started over here, guys. He started on e8. He is now on a6 and he came all the way this way. It's so funny. Right through the middle of the board. I just push more pawns up, really trying to choke the king out. I take a pawn. He decides not even to take back, which is hilarious. This guy was just scared of taking anything off of the board. So I'm just kind of continuing to push my pawns up and improve my position. My rook on the A file is very active, kind of choking the king out of an escape on that line. And I'm able just to take this bishop. I know I'm ahead on material, so I'm like, I'll trade down. This is gonna be a nice fork on both of the knight and the queen. Queen does take back, which is expected. That's obviously good. This was the best move though, because it's going to move the queen into a position that allows me to have an open file if I wanted. Bishop taking c6 with check was also good. Not bishop, the B pawn, c6 to check is also very good here because the king either has to take or move. If the king decides to take, I can put him back into check. That's pretty good. So we're just in like a very solid position. I've also got my rook here on the B file, the idea being that now I could reveal the check and win the queen if he doesn't move. I actually ended up not doing that, which would have just been so big brain, right? We put him into check, he has to take back, I win the queen, it's GG's. This guy absolutely resigns and cries himself to sleep. That is not what ended up happening. I decided to move my other rook over. This is an inaccuracy because of course we could have won a queen here, but we're still in a completely winning position, feels pretty good, and we still get our great move. We still get to reveal check, he decides to take, I take, he takes back, which is totally fine. Getting a queen for a rook, very good trade for myself. I jump up here, forking the knights. The knights are able to protect themselves. And so now I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna jump up here. I don't really know why I moved the pawn up, but it seemed like a good idea because if I do take here, he takes, I'm gonna trade off. It's gonna be two knights and a rook with a bishop and a queen and more pawns. So the likelihood of me being able to promote or pick something off is quite high in that case. He moves his rook over, he wants to attack the hanging pawn. I move down, putting him into check. He moves up, I take, he decides to take my hanging pawn. And now I'm basically, guys, the rest of this game, we are on move 33. There are 33 more moves. We don't need to go in depth on the remaining 33 moves. I will say I need to get a little bit better at my end games. Now, he runs his king away. I'm able to pick up a free rook. He defends the check. I'm able to attack. He's coming in to defend again. I take, he takes, I take, he cannot take back. So we've simplified the board like crazy in just a few moves, having a second queen on the board, sacrificing it. Now it's a rook and a pawn against rook, queen, bishop, 3 pawns. Very not good position. Now, this is a miss and this is not good. Now, it looks like I'm hanging a back rank mate, but I knew that as long as his rook stays on the C file, I'm not gonna get back rank mated. And I see this, I'm like, okay, if I keep putting him into check, if I'm able to kind of keep attacking him, we're gonna be okay. He just uses this little rook as like a sentry. He's just dancing around him. It's very annoying, very frustrating. And then I give up my rook. I'm like, oh, this is not good. So he jumps over here. Now I know, okay, back rank mate is a possibility. Can't let this happen now. And I'm just dancing. I create a little escape route because I'm like, I'm gonna get back rank mated. It's gonna be very sad, very horrible. He hangs the final pawn, puts me into check. I'm able to jump over here. He attacks my queen, put him into check again. And now I'm basically able to say, hey, what if I was going to fork you? This is gonna be great. I'm gonna win the rook. And now he dances around. And the rest of this game is very easy. We do end up getting the ladder mate in the few moves after that, but made a little bit of an oopsie poopsie with hanging my rook to his king. A little bit sketchy with the potential of a back rank mate, but I was aware of it. I didn't let it happen. So overall, a fun game. It was very hilarious to watch the king scoot all the way around the board, come back up, go back down. This king moved a lot. I think out of these 66 moves, it was like 30 of them that he had to move his king. It's time for the verse of the day today. Today's verse comes from Proverbs chapter 15, verse 33, and it's very simple. It says, wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord, and humility comes before honor. We've been looking at Proverbs this month, and wisdom has been a recurring theme, but I really like the second half of this verse, which is humility comes before honor. Being humble is a key to the door of honor. You're not going to receive honor if you are are not humble, if you are not honest about who you are yourself, and you take yourself off of the pedestal that so many of us hold ourselves onto. I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. We're all guilty of being a little bit too proud in certain moments. And so humbling ourselves can lead to honor. That's what this verse is saying to me. I think it's a great verse. It's encouraging. It also just helps us keep our ego in check, which I definitely need sometimes. So I hope this verse brought you encouragement as it did for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's jump back into having a look at these fun games. So it was fun to watch the king waddle around the board. Now this game is going to be maybe a little bit more frustrating for you guys. It's going to reiterate that I still need to learn a lot of my end game theory. I'm still not that good at it. It is where I lose the majority of my games actually. My openings pretty solid. My mid games, I can find some tactics, but my end games, as you're going to see in this one, are abysmal, to be quite frank with you. Now, the opening, very standard. Everything is book move here. And for some reason, I had in my mind that it was a good trade here to basically sacrifice my knight. And so I did that. This is a blunder in this position. I don't know why I did this, but I did. He takes back. I attack him with the bishop. Oh, why is my camera frozen? How long has that been like that? I fixed the camera. I don't know what happened. I don't even know when the camera crapped out on itself, but don't sacrifice the knight. It's not a good idea. Thankfully, my opponent decided to save his knight instead of defending it with the bishop. I'm able to then attack him, causing the king to lose castling rights, and this is actually quite good. It's not great. You can see by the evaluation bar I'm not winning, but I always feel good in this position, and white always gets a little bit panicky. They don't love it, so it's very okay. Not the greatest, not the worst. And now I'm just going to continue developing my pieces. Since my opponent does not have castling, I'm just going to move back. In this position, f6 was actually better to attack this pawn, get it off of the e-file, and start pushing these pawns up the middle of the board. He decides to attack my knight. This is a mistake. I am able to try to kick him. This is okay. Queen takes b2 is actually best because this is no longer defended after he develops the dark bishop, which makes a lot of sense. I'm able just to take back though. I was okay with trading some material off in this position. And then I'm just developing my pieces. Once again, attacking the knight here. He decides to attack, and this is kind of a weird spot for me. This isn't great. It's actually a winning position for me. And the reason that this is a winning position, I think, is because it's weakening the pawns, and you can just move backwards. If you move backwards, this is totally fine, but I'm a big dumb idiot, and instead of moving backwards, I decided to take the pawn. He is able to then pin the bishop to my queen, which is obviously not very good. So I decide to defend my bishop, pushing my pawn on the a-file up. He takes, I take back. This pawn is still not in a great spot, but at least it's only being attacked by the rook right now. You can see the evaluation bar is pretty close to 50-50 here. When he decides to attack, this is obviously best. I'm going to then defend, still very good. We're just kind of defending this one pawn that is hanging on for dear life on the edge of the board. He's able to attack. This is an inaccuracy. It's not good. G3 was actually better, so kind of starting to push the pawns up on this side of the board. I don't really know why. I could not begin to tell you or explain to you why that is better than attacking the pawn that's being overworked and just targeted by a rook and a queen at this moment. But that's okay. He also has moving knight back to c2. I don't remember if he actually ends up doing that or not. I decided to castle. This was not very good. b3 was actually better. b3 being best is insane to me in this position because if you push up, which is best, I don't quite get it because you have the rook and the knight both attacking this. If knight takes, this is good. Then I'm supposed to castle. I guess it's because if the knight moves now, it's kind of pinned itself to the rook. I guess that's the idea. I'm not really sure if rook was to take. This is even worse. This is because you're able to take the knight for free and target the queen. So you win a tempo, you win a piece, you're just up material now. Would I have seen that if I was in that position? Probably not. I obviously did not see that moving the pawn was actually good. He decides to move his light bishop over, attacking, that's okay. I decide to put him into check, and this is actually a mistake. I thought it was good. I thought it was going to be kind of okay, but knight taking here is good. Even if I was to take back, you do put him into check. He's able to then move bishop to e2, attacking, again, winning a bit of a tempo on me. And in this position, this is actually what happens. I put him into check, he takes back, I put him into check again, he moves his queen over, which is excellent. Moving the bishop was slightly better, but in this position, I am now able to make a queen trade, which is best. We're simplifying the board. I've got the 2 rooks, he's got the bishop, but I have the pawn advantage. So you can see it's basically a dead even game at this point. I take a pawn, he takes a pawn. Once you have the pawns being gobbled up, now it's a very positional game. You have to make sure you're not making any mistakes, you're not hanging anything, you're not letting the opponent eat up some of these free pawns. And as you can see, I've got one little pawn over here who's very sad and alone and scary. And you can also notice this pawn on e5 that should have been taken by moving f6 way earlier in the game is going to become a bit of a problem. So that's why it's like, hey, this pawn is over here. You have an opportunity to attack it without losing any tempos or anything like that earlier in the game. You should probably do that because now in your end game, this pawn is going to become a huge pain in the ass. So he decides to move over here. Now he is just protecting this potential check idea that I had with the rooks being built up on the A file. I'm now going to just defend the pawn because there's no reason to have both rooks on the A file. I can't check him anyways. And he's getting his king very involved. This is okay, moving the pawn up. We're just kind of stopping the progression of the rook. We're not allowing him to get in on the back rank anymore. He moves his king over. He is really defending me. And now I'm just continuing to defend this pawn. This little guy is my pride and joy. I love him. His name is Rupert. He's an amazing little pawn. He continues to move his king over, which is good. Again, this is just defending the bishop. It's stopping anything from coming over here. He can take, I'd have to move this over, giving up a pawn. Like there's lots of ideas that are happening. Moving the king is a good idea. There's not any back rank stuff. There's lots of pawns around my king. I'm also thinking I'll be able to get over here and attack this pawn that is holding up my central pawns. He brings his other pawn down. This becomes, like I said, a very positional game, and moving the king here was not actually good. I should have just moved pawn g6. This is going to allow me to push up or even stop the progression of this pawn. That's going to block my king in though, which isn't going to be the best thing in the entire world. So either way, I move my king up. You can see we're not in a great position right now. He pushes his other pawn up. I'm able to push my pawn up. Again, a little bit of a miss. We should have been doing f6. Again, these are like 2 central pawns that can work together to push up the board. It makes a lot of sense, but my little peanut brain in this moment is like, I don't know what to do. So he takes, I take back. We're in a pretty good spot now. He's coming to attack the 7th rank pawns. I just move backwards thinking, okay, I can defend this. This actually wasn't that good. I should have moved rook to a7. This pawn is still being defended. This pawn is now being defended. And so his next best move in this position would actually be doubling up his rooks, and then I probably want to be doubling mine up. So we move from really targeting this B pawn to really targeting this F pawn, but my king really can't get that involved. He's not able to come here and attack because of the pawn, the rook's being doubled up. So this position would still be completely crushing for white in an endgame. That being said, when I move my king over and he moves down, it's gonna be a lot of yo-yoing on the evaluation bar, because in these positions, single moves, single square differences are going to be massive in the outcome of the game. He decides to get both of his rooks together. You can see basically evens everything out. F6 is good here. When he takes back, I am able to take. I now have 3 centralized pawns that can work together, push up the board, try to promote something. He puts me into check. I attack him. He's still defended by his other rook. He jumps down here. He wants to attack my pawns from the back, which makes a lot of sense. I'm just getting my king over. Really want to try to protect everything that I can. And now I see that my opponent really does not like this B pawn. He's worried about it, even though he has 3 immovable objects in front of it. I'm not going to be able to get through this. So I just start pushing pawns because they're protected by my king. I can basically push a pawn on any side. If I do push the D pawn, it does create a potential I'm getting put into check situation. So I'm like, hey, I'm just going to move this F pawn up. It's protected. He moves his H pawn up. And in this position, I can't do anything because of his bishop. So I'm going to go and support my rook. This is actually a good move. It's the best move in the position. I feel very good about it. And then when he takes his pawn, I had to look at this position for a while. And I'm going to be honest, I played this game a couple days ago. I don't remember my thought process exactly, but I'll see if I can kind of remember it based off of what happens. I put him into check, and now he has no way of stopping this. He has to move his king because both of my rooks are on the A file. He moves down. I put him into check again. When he moves down once more, this is now protected by the bishop. So I can't put him into check again. However, I can push up. This is not good. Rook to D3 over here is actually best in this position because we are targeting the bishop. The bishop cannot retarget my rook. And if he does come over here, which is the best position, my rook can come over here, pinning the bishop to the king, which is pretty good. Rook to H2 is also very good because I'm going to be attacking this isolated pawn, which is his last hope for being able to promote anything. Here he could move over to H7. This is a bit of an inaccuracy, but it would maybe be something logical to have happen in the game. Either way, this isn't exactly what happened. I decided to continue pushing the pawn up. The idea here was if I push this pawn up, he still can't take it because it's protected. Even though he does end up doing that, I take. He pushes his pawn down. I am now, as you can see, in an absolutely crushing position. My idea here was to put the king into check. He's going to move. I'm going to take. He's going to take. He cannot defend this pawn now, right? And this is kind of what happens. He takes back. He does move the king. And now I put him into check. Guys, I don't remember what the time was at the end of this one. It was getting pretty close. But in this position, when I take, thinking that I'm an absolute genius, because look, I have two pawns protected with my king. I can march these up the board and promote, no problem. He takes back. I move over. This is a great move, guys. Great move. Everything so far is looking absolutely incredible. He pushes down. I push down. He cannot promote this pawn. He will lose the pawn. I have connected pawns in the middle of the board. The only thing I need to do after he moves the king here, the only thing I need to do to win this game, to solidify an absolutely crushing victory, is pawn to D4. Pawn to D4 wins me the game. He cannot win. I will promote to a queen and destroy this man. What do? What does my dumb little pickle brain do? I push up the e-pawn, creating an inevitable draw because the pawns are going to get eaten up and we're going to lose. So I don't know why. I remember before he moved here, I was like, if I do this and then he does this, then I do this, then I move the e-pawn up and I win. But the result is the exact same if I had just thought of what the d-pawn can do in this position. So we do end up drawing. It was a great game. It was a lot of fun. It was very positional with those two rooks and the bishop on the board and the pawn advantage. I had a great time playing it, but I need to slow down in the end games and really analyze where can pieces move, what pieces should I be pushing, what pieces should I be leaving, because I did get myself into a little bit of a sticky situation by not doing that. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough of both of these games today. I hope God blesses you in the rest of your day today, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's upload. Peace.